The Silent Watchers. Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless in her observatory's control room, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across multiple holographic displays. After 15 years of searching for anomalies in deep space, she had finally found something that defied explanation. The quantum interference patterns she detected weren't natural. They were deliberate distortions in spacetime, creating a network of invisible observation points throughout the solar system. "Run the analysis again," she commanded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Her AI assistant, AI, processed the request silently. The results remained unchanged. Earth was being watched. Not by one observer, but by hundreds, their advanced cloaking technologies only now detectable thanks to Sarah's breakthrough in quantum detection algorithms. The revelation came not with Hollywood's dramatic flare of ships appearing over major cities, but through the quiet persistence of scientific inquiry. Sarah's discovery would soon reshape humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos, though not in the way anyone expected. Within hours, similar findings poured in from observatories worldwide. The Chinese detected disturbances near their lunar base. The European Space Agency reported anomalous readings around Mars. Russia's deep space monitoring stations confirmed unusual patterns near Jupiter's moons. The evidence was undeniable. Earth had been under systematic surveillance for what appeared to be centuries. Admiral James Harper of the United Nations Space Command received the consolidated reports with remarkable composure. A veteran of countless diplomatic and military crises, he recognized this moment for what it was, not just first contact, but the revelation of a long-running strategic assessment of humanity by multiple alien civilizations. "They've been studying us," he announced to the hastily assembled Global Security Council in Geneva. Like anthropologists observing a newly discovered tribe, except this tribe just figured out how to spot the observers hiding in the trees. The implications were staggering. Every major human achievement, every war, every technological breakthrough, all had been witnessed by silent watchers who chose not to intervene. The question that haunted the council wasn't just why they were watching, but why they had maintained their silence for so long. The answer came 3 days later, and it wasn't what anyone had anticipated. The first message arrived simultaneously at every major communications facility on Earth. It was elegant in its simplicity. "You weren't supposed to see us yet, but since you have, we need to talk." What followed was a cascade of similar messages from different sources, each claiming to represent a distinct galactic civilization. Some expressed alarm at humanity's unexpected technological leap. Others attempted to establish immediate diplomatic relations. A few even made veiled threats about the consequences of humanity's premature discovery of their presence. Dr. Chen, now working directly with Admiral Harper's team, noticed a pattern in the communications. "They're scared," she said, analyzing the linguistic patterns in the translated messages. "Not of what we might do, but of what we've already done. We weren't supposed to be able to detect their observation posts for at least another century." Admiral Harper nodded grimly. "We've disrupted their timeline. Question is, what were they waiting for?" The answer began to emerge as they decoded more messages. Earth sat at a crucial junction point between several major galactic territories. Its solar system contained resources valuable to multiple civilizations. But more importantly, humanity possessed something the Watchers found both fascinating and terrifying: unpredictability. Unlike other species they had encountered, humans showed a remarkable ability to make technological and social leaps that defied standard developmental models. While other civilizations followed predictable patterns of advancement, humanity seemed to surge forward in unexpected bursts, driven by a combination of necessity, curiosity, and sheer determination. The revelation of the Watchers' presence forced their hand. Within a week, the first official delegation arrived. A joint representation of 3 major galactic powers. Their ship materialized in Earth orbit, a masterpiece of engineering that seemed to bend the laws of physics. But despite their advanced technology, their message carried an unmistakable undertone of anxiety. Your species has developed certain capabilities ahead of schedule, their primary representative stated during the first formal meeting. This creates complications. Admiral Harper, serving as humanity's chief negotiator, allowed himself a small smile. Complications for whom? He asked, already suspecting the answer. The alien representatives exchanged glances before their leader continued. There are established protocols for introducing new species to the galactic community. Protocols designed to maintain stability and prevent disruptions. And we've disrupted those protocols by spotting you. Dr. Chen interjected, her scientific curiosity overshadowing diplomatic protocol. Precisely, the alien confirmed. Your detection capabilities should not have emerged for another century. The fact that they have. The creature paused, searching for the right words. It raises concerns about what other capabilities you might develop ahead of schedule. As the initial meeting concluded, Admiral Harper gathered his core team for a private discussion. They've been watching us develop, waiting for the right moment to step in and guide our development according to their plans, he summarized. Instead, we've caught them in the act, and now they're scrambling to adjust. Dr. Chen pulled up her latest analysis on a holographic display. The quantum distortion patterns we detected. They're not just observation posts. They're part of a larger network, some kind of containment system. They weren't just watching us. They were trying to control our development. The implications hit everyone in the room like a physical force. Humanity hadn't just discovered they weren't alone in the universe. They had caught their watchers attempting to shape their destiny. The question now was how to respond to this revelation, and what it meant for Earth's future in a galaxy that clearly feared humanity's potential. As news of the alien presence spread across Earth, humanity faced its greatest test. They had unmasked their hidden observers, but this was just the beginning. The real challenge would be deciding how to handle the knowledge that the galaxy's most powerful civilizations had been attempting to contain humanity's development, and had failed. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape not just Earth's future, but the entire balance of power in the galaxy. And it all started because one scientist refused to ignore an anomaly in her data, proving once again that humanity's greatest strength lay not in their technology, but in their relentless pursuit of truth, no matter the consequences. The grand deception. The alien delegations arrived in waves, each more impressive than the last. Their ships filled Earth's orbit like jewels against the black of space, each vessel a testament to technologies humanity had only dreamed of. But Dr. Sarah Chen wasn't watching the ships. She was watching their energy signatures, and they told a very different story. They're putting on a show, she explained to Admiral Harper, gesturing at her quantum readings. These ships are burning excessive energy just to look impressive. It's like watching someone drive a sports car in first gear. All noise, minimal efficiency. The observation center beneath Mount Cheyenne had become humanity's primary analysis hub for alien contact. Here, experts from every field worked around the clock to understand not just what the aliens were saying, but what they were trying to hide. Their technology is advanced. Admiral Harper agreed, but they're using it like a magician uses misdirection. The question is, what don't they want us to see? The answer began to emerge as the delegations made their presentations. The Arcturus Confederation offered unlimited clean energy. The Rigel Alliance promised medical technologies that could extend human life indefinitely. The Centauri Union suggested a defense partnership that would protect Earth from any external threats. Each offer came with extensive demonstrations of their technological capabilities. But Dr. Maya Patel, the team's xenoanthropologist, noticed something odd about their behavior. They're nervous, she reported during an emergency briefing. Watch their body language when we ask detailed questions about implementation. They're not used to being challenged. Lieutenant David Rodriguez, head of military intelligence, pulled up a holographic display showing analysis of the alien vessel's movements. Their ships are maintaining strict territorial distances from each other. Despite claiming to be peaceful delegations, they're positioned like opposing military forces. The pieces of the puzzle were beginning to form a disturbing picture. These weren't independent civilizations coming to welcome humanity to the galactic community. They were competing powers trying to secure an advantage before their rivals could. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Chen's quantum detection system picked up a subtle signal during one delegation's presentation. It wasn't meant for human ears, but rather a leaked transmission between two alien vessels. Priority alert. Humans questioning containment protocols. Recommend immediate implementation of connection initiative. The transmission was brief, but it confirmed their suspicions. The aliens weren't offering partnerships. They were scrambling to establish control before humanity fully understood its position. Admiral Harper called an emergency meeting of Earth's Security Council. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not looking at first contact. We're looking at damage control. Theirs, not ours. Dr. Chen's latest analysis appeared on the main screen. The quantum distortion network we detected. It's not just for observation. It's part of a larger system designed to influence technological development. They'd been subtly manipulating our progress for centuries. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't developed in isolation. They had advanced despite active attempts to control their progress. Every major breakthrough, every unexpected leap forward, represented not just human achievement but successful resistance against external manipulation. But why? Asked one of the council members. Why try to control our development? Dr. Paddle stepped forward, her expression grim. Because we're different. Look at their historical records. Every other species they've encountered follows predictable patterns of development. They advance along predetermined technological and social paths. But humans, we innovate. Admiral Harper finished. We make unexpected leaps. We solve problems in ways they never considered. The evidence mounted as they dug deeper. Each alien delegation's offers contained subtle mechanisms for control. The clean energy systems would have made Earth dependent on alien maintenance. The medical technologies required constant updates from off-world. The defense partnerships would have placed Earth under foreign military oversight. But perhaps most telling was what the aliens didn't offer. Any technology or knowledge that would help humanity continue its independent development. They're not here to help us join the galactic community, Lieutenant Rodriguez concluded. They're here to ensure we join it on their terms, under their control. The realization sparked an intense debate among Earth's leaders. Some argued for accepting the best offer and trying to work within the system. Others pushed for immediate military preparation. But Admiral Harper and his team saw a third option. They've shown us their hand, he told the council. Not because they wanted to, but because they had to. Their careful plans for controlling Earth's development fell apart the moment we spotted their observation posts. Now they're improvising, and that's when people, or aliens, make mistakes. Dr. Chen pulled up new data on the quantum network, the containment system they built around our solar system. It's not just for observation and influence. It's a technology we can study, reverse engineer, and potentially use ourselves. The implications were staggering. In their rush to prevent humanity from developing too quickly, the aliens had exposed technologies and capabilities they had intended to keep hidden for centuries. As the council debated their next move, Admiral Harper shared a quiet observation with his team. They've spent centuries trying to control humanity's development, trying to force us into their predictable patterns. In doing so, they revealed their own greatest weakness. They don't understand how to handle things they can't control. The alien delegations waited in orbit, each believing they were close to securing Earth's cooperation. None of them realized that their careful deception had already unraveled, and humanity was preparing a response that would shake the foundations of their galactic order. Earth's leaders had reached a consensus. They would play along with the aliens' diplomatic game, but not for the reasons their visitors expected. Every presentation, every demonstration, every leaked transmission was another piece of information about technologies and capabilities the aliens had never intended to reveal so soon. The grand deception was about to backfire spectacularly, and the galaxy's most powerful civilizations had no idea they were the ones being deceived. The Hidden Games. Lieutenant Rodriguez stood before a holographic display of the solar system, watching the intricate dance of alien vessels in Earth's orbit. 2 weeks into the diplomatic missions, patterns had emerged that told a very different story from the one their visitors were presenting. They're not just positioning themselves relative to Earth, he explained to the assembled team. They're positioning themselves relative to each other. Every movement is calculated to maintain specific distances and angles. It's like watching a chess game in 3 dimensions. Dr. Chen's quantum detection system had revealed another layer to this celestial ballet. The energy signatures suggest they're running active defense systems constantly. They're as worried about each other as they are about us. The observation center had expanded its operations, with new analysis stations dedicated to each alien faction. Dr. Patel's team had made significant progress in understanding their visitors' psychology, and what they discovered was fascinating. They're afraid, she reported, but not just of us. They're afraid of change itself. Their civilizations have been stable for so long that they've forgotten how to handle rapid evolution, social, technological, or otherwise. Admiral Harper absorbed this information with his characteristic calm. And that's exactly what we represent, isn't it? Change, unpredictability, evolution they can't control. The breakthrough came during what seemed like a routine diplomatic exchange. The Arcturus Confederation's representative had been explaining their proposal for guided technological development when their translation matrix glitched. For just a moment, their true terminology came through. They hadn't said guided development. They had said containment protocols. Dr. Chen's team immediately began analyzing other translation errors. A pattern emerged. Beneath the diplomatic language lay a vocabulary of control, containment, and fear. Look at this. Dr. Patel pointed to a linguistic analysis. When they talk about human potential, they use the same terms they use for natural disasters. We're not a species to them. We're a force of nature they're trying to contain. The reason for their fear became clearer as humanity began testing the aliens' reactions. Every time Earth's representatives asked questions that challenged their assumptions, the visitors showed signs of distress. When humans proposed alternative solutions to their carefully prepared scenarios, the aliens struggled to adapt. They've lost their ability to innovate, Admiral Harper realized. They've been stable for so long that they can only think in established patterns. But humans, we thrive on chaos. Lieutenant Rodriguez finished. Every major human breakthrough came from someone challenging established patterns, thinking differently, finding new ways to solve old problems. Dr. Chen's latest quantum scans revealed something even more intriguing. The containment network around the solar system wasn't just for observation. It was part of a larger system that spanned the galaxy. They've built a network to maintain stability, she explained, to prevent any civilization from developing in unexpected ways. But they never anticipated a species that could detect it, let alone understand it. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just discovered they were being watched. They had stumbled upon the mechanism by which the galaxy's dominant powers maintained their control over developing civilizations. But the biggest revelation came from analyzing the aliens' military capabilities. Despite their advanced technology, their tactical thinking was predictable, following established patterns that hadn't changed in centuries. They fight the way they think, Lieutenant Rodriguez explained to the Security Council, in predetermined patterns, following protocols established ages ago. They haven't faced a real challenge in so long that they've forgotten how to adapt. This explained their desperate attempts to control Earth's development. Humanity's capacity for rapid adaptation and innovation wasn't just an anomaly. It was a threat to the very foundation of their galactic order. Dr. Patel's team made another crucial discovery. While studying historical records provided by the aliens, every other species they've encountered developed in a linear fashion. But humans? We make leaps. We go from horse-drawn carriages to moon landings in decades. We transform from isolated nations to a globally connected civilization in a generation. The alien delegations, meanwhile, continued their elaborate performance, unaware that their every move was revealing more about their true nature. Each offer of assistance, each demonstration of technology, each diplomatic overture was another piece of the puzzle. Admiral Harper gathered his core team for a private strategy session. They'd built their entire civilization around prediction and control. Their technology, their diplomacy, their military doctrine. It all assumes that species will develop and behave in predictable ways. And then they found us, Dr. Chen added. A species that thrives on change, that innovates under pressure, that finds solutions they never imagined possible. The team had uncovered the true nature of the game being played in Earth's orbit. The competing alien factions weren't just trying to gain an advantage. They were trying to prevent humanity from becoming a catalyst for change in their carefully ordered galaxy. But perhaps most ironically, in their rush to contain humanity's potential, they had exposed their own greatest weakness, their fear of unpredictability, their rigid adherence to established patterns, their inability to adapt quickly. These were vulnerabilities that humans had spent their entire history learning to exploit. As the alien delegations continued their diplomatic dance, humanity prepared for a move that none of their visitors could predict. The hidden games were about to end, but not in the way any of the galactic powers had planned. Earth's leaders had reached a decisive conclusion. They would not allow themselves to be contained or controlled. Instead, they would use their unique capabilities, their adaptability, their creativity, their unpredictability, to reshape the very nature of galactic politics. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations had spent centuries trying to prevent humanity from disrupting their carefully maintained order. They were about to learn that some forces cannot be contained. They can only be unleashed. The human gambit. The plan was audacious, perhaps even reckless by the standards of the galaxy's ancient civilizations. But then again, that was precisely why it might work. Admiral Harper stood before Earth's Unified Security Council, presenting what his team had dubbed Operation Paradigm Shift. The aliens have shown us their capabilities not because they wanted to, but because they had to, he explained. In their rush to control us, they've given us exactly what we need to break their control entirely. Dr. Chen's holographic display showed the complex network of quantum observation posts surrounding Earth. We've mapped their entire containment system. More importantly, we've figured out how to do something they never anticipated. We can modify it. The quantum detection technology that had initially spotted the alien observers had evolved rapidly over the past month. Humanity's ability to innovate under pressure had turned a discovery tool into something far more powerful. Every alien faction maintains their own frequency in the network, Dr. Chen continued. They use it to monitor developing civilizations and each other. But they never considered that someone might learn to broadcast on all frequencies simultaneously. Lieutenant Rodriguez stepped forward, pulling up tactical displays. Their military doctrine is based on predictability. They position their forces according to established patterns, respond to threats according to ancient protocols. They literally cannot comprehend an enemy that doesn't play by their rules. The plan that emerged was quintessentially human, adaptable, unconventional, and completely unprecedented in galactic history. While the alien delegations continued their diplomatic maneuvering, humanity prepared for a move that would reshape the balance of power. The first phase began subtly. During routine negotiations, Earth's representatives began asking questions that deliberately contradicted each other, presenting paradoxes that the aliens' rigid thinking struggled to process. Dr. Patel's team had discovered that their visitors literally could not handle logical inconsistencies. Their minds sought patterns even when there were none to find. They're so accustomed to predictability that unpredictability actually causes them physical discomfort, she explained. It's like their brains are running into an error message they can't process. Meanwhile, Dr. Chen's team worked to modify the quantum network. They couldn't match the aliens' technological sophistication, but they could do something just as effective. They could introduce chaos into a system designed for order. The moment of truth came during what the aliens thought would be a routine diplomatic session. Representatives from all major factions had gathered in orbit, each believing they were close to securing an agreement with Earth. Admiral Harper opened the session with an announcement that none of them had predicted. Humanity has reached a decision. We choose to rewrite the rules of engagement. Before the aliens could respond, Dr. Chen's team activated their modified quantum transmitters. The containment network, designed to maintain stability and control, suddenly began broadcasting on all frequencies simultaneously. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The alien vessels' carefully maintained formation began to break down as their systems received conflicting information from what they thought was their own network. Their rigid protocols, faced with a situation they were never designed to handle, began to fail. "What are you doing?" The Arcturus Confederation's representative demanded, their usual diplomatic composure cracking. "This is not according to established procedures." "Exactly," Admiral Harper replied calmly. "Humanity is declaring a new protocol, one based on adaptation rather than control, innovation rather than stagnation." Lieutenant Rodriguez's tactical displays showed the alien vessels attempting to reposition themselves according to their standard protocols, only to find that their carefully calculated formations no longer made sense. The quantum network, which had been their tool of control for millennia, was now broadcasting humanity's message across the galaxy. Dr. Patil observed their reactions with fascination. They're experiencing something they haven't felt in centuries: uncertainty. Their entire civilization is built on predictability, and we've just demonstrated that predictability is no longer guaranteed. The human gambit had multiple layers. By disrupting the quantum network, they had not only broken the aliens' means of control, but had also broadcast Earth's capabilities to every developing civilization in the galaxy. The message was clear. Control and containment were no longer the only options. "You risk chaos," the Centauri Union's elder statesman warned. "The stability of the galaxy depends on order and predictability." "No," Admiral Harper corrected. "The stagnation of the galaxy depends on order and predictability. Growth, evolution, innovation. These require the courage to embrace uncertainty." As the alien representatives struggled to comprehend this fundamental challenge to their worldview, humanity presented their terms. Earth would not be contained, controlled, or limited. Instead, they offered something the galaxy's ancient powers had forgotten was possible: partnership based on mutual growth rather than control. "Your civilizations have achieved incredible things," Admiral Harper acknowledged. "But you've forgotten the most important lesson humanity has learned throughout our history. True strength comes not from avoiding chaos, but from learning to thrive within it." The quantum network, now operating according to human protocols, began sharing technological and scientific data between all civilizations, developed and developing alike. The rigid hierarchies that had maintained galactic order for millennia began to dissolve. Some alien factions reacted with horror at this disruption of their careful order. Others, particularly younger civilizations, responded with excitement at the possibilities this new paradigm presented. But all of them had to acknowledge a fundamental truth: humanity had changed the game. Dr. Chen's final analysis confirmed what they had hoped. The network is stable, but transformed. We haven't destroyed their system of order. We've evolved it into something new, a platform for sharing and growth rather than control and containment. As the alien delegations retreated to their respective territories to process this unprecedented change, Admiral Harper gathered his team for a moment of reflection. "They spent centuries trying to prevent humanity from disrupting their galactic order," he observed. "In doing so, they gave us exactly the tools we needed to transform it instead." The human gambit had succeeded not through superior technology or military might, but through humanity's unique ability to imagine and implement change. They had proven that unpredictability wasn't a threat to be contained. It was an opportunity to be embraced. The galaxy was about to enter a new era, one where adaptation and innovation would replace stagnation and control. And humanity, the force that had catalyzed this transformation, was ready to help guide the way forward, not as controllers, but as partners in evolution. The New Dawn. 6 months after humanity's restructuring of the quantum network, the galaxy was experiencing changes that even Earth's strategists hadn't fully anticipated. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at her familiar position in the observation center, but now she was monitoring something far more complex than alien vessels. She was watching the emergence of a new galactic order. The network isn't just sharing information anymore, she explained to Admiral Harper. It's facilitating evolution. Younger civilizations are making technological leaps that would have been impossible under the old system of control. The holographic display showed streams of data flowing between star systems, representing the free exchange of ideas and innovations that had replaced the former regime of containment and control. But perhaps most surprising was the reaction from some of the older civilizations. They're adapting, Dr. Patel noted, reviewing reports from across the galaxy. Not all of them, but enough. Once they got past their initial shock, some of these ancient species remembered something they'd forgotten: the thrill of discovery, the excitement of uncertainty. The Arcturus Confederation had been among the first to embrace the new paradigm, their younger members pushing past millennia of rigid thinking to explore new possibilities. Their ships still maintained precise formations, but now those formations evolved and shifted in response to changing conditions, a small change that represented a revolutionary shift in thinking. Lieutenant Rodriguez's tactical assessments showed other encouraging signs. The military dynamics are shifting. Instead of positioning for control, most species are adopting defensive postures focused on mutual protection. They're learning to cooperate rather than compete. But not all responses to humanity's gambit had been positive. Some of the older, more rigid civilizations had withdrawn behind their borders, refusing to participate in what they saw as the end of proper galactic order. Yet even their isolation served a purpose. It demonstrated to younger civilizations the cost of choosing stagnation over growth. Admiral Harper received regular updates from Earth's new network of diplomatic offices, established on neutral worlds throughout the galaxy. "We're seeing something remarkable," he told the Security Council. "Species that were previously held in artificial development paths are finding their own ways forward. Each one is evolving according to their unique characteristics, not according to some predetermined pattern." Dr. Chen's team had made another fascinating discovery. The quantum network, freed from its role as a control mechanism, had begun to exhibit properties its original designers had never imagined possible. "It's becoming a true neural network," she explained, adapting and growing in response to the combined innovations of multiple species. The very thing they feared, unpredictable evolution, has become the galaxy's greatest strength. The transformation hadn't been without its challenges. Some civilizations, suddenly freed from external control, had initially struggled with their new freedom. Earth had established a network of advisory teams, helping these species navigate their transition to true independence. "We're not acting as their controllers," Dr. Patel emphasized during a galactic conference. "We're sharing our most valuable resource, our experience with change itself. Humanity has millennia of practice in handling technological and social evolution. That's what these civilizations need most right now." The conference itself was evidence of the changing times. Held on a neutral world, it brought together representatives from hundreds of species, many of which had never been allowed direct contact with each other under the old system. The exchanges were chaotic, unpredictable, and incredibly productive. "Look at this," Lieutenant Rodriguez said, showing Admiral Harper a tactical analysis. "Species that were previously restricted to prescribed technological paths are combining their unique approaches to create hybrid technologies. They're not just advancing. They're advancing in ways nobody could have predicted." The former containment network, repurposed as a platform for open exchange, had revealed another unexpected benefit. As civilizations shared their knowledge and experiences, they discovered solutions to problems that had plagued them for centuries. The rigid categorization of species as developed or developing began to blur as each civilization contributed their unique perspectives and capabilities. Dr. Chen's quantum monitoring stations detected something else, signs of technological advancement that didn't match any known patterns. "We're seeing true innovation," she reported. "Not just combinations of existing technologies, but entirely new approaches that emerge from the free exchange of ideas." The galactic community was learning what humanity had known all along, that true progress comes not from controlling change, but from embracing it. The very unpredictability that the ancient powers had feared was proving to be the key to solving problems they had thought unsolvable. Admiral Harper, reviewing the latest reports from across the galaxy, shared a moment of reflection with his team. "They thought they were containing us to prevent chaos," he observed. "Instead, they gave us the tools to show them that chaos isn't their enemy. It's the source of their next evolution." Earth had emerged as something unique in the galaxy. Not a controlling power, but a catalyst for change. Humanity's role was not to direct the development of other species, but to demonstrate how to thrive in an uncertain universe. The observation center, once focused on monitoring potential threats, had become a hub for tracking the galaxy's ongoing transformation. Each day brought new discoveries, new combinations of ideas, new ways of thinking that even humanity hadn't imagined. "We didn't just change the rules of the game," Dr. Paddle remarked, watching the data streams that represented countless civilizations growing in their own unique ways. "We showed them that they never needed rules in the first place, just the courage to embrace uncertainty." As the first year of the new era drew to a close, humanity had achieved something unprecedented. They had transformed a system of control into a network of opportunity, replacing fear of the unknown with excitement for the possible. The galaxy was entering a new dawn, one where each civilization could chart its own course while contributing to the collective growth of all. And humanity, the species that had dared to challenge millennia of rigid order, stood ready to help guide the way forward, not as controllers, but as pioneers in the art of embracing change itself.